Hello and welcome everyone again into another video, and in today's video I will be talking about the best teams in the Little Holiday Cup. And the Little Holiday Cup is basically okay, it's not December 15th, it's literally this Friday, and I think it's the 29th, as last time we had Holiday Cup, I think last year December 15th. So what is Holiday Cup? In Holiday Cup, it's basically 6 typing that are allowed: ice, electric, normal, ghost, grass, and flyers. It's a little cup format, so only 500 CP Pokemons are allowed to be used. In this format, usually like a few Pokemons usually are very dominant, and a few Pokemons are fine as a safe swap, and that's the only stuff you could use. But in this video I'll be talking about the best Pokemons and the best Little Cup Pokemons you can invest in and use basically in every Little Cup. I don't play Little Cup that much, but I have 5 or 6 Pokemons that I poured up, and I can use them literally in every single Little Cup format. So Little Cup, if you look at the PvPoke ranking, Shadow Litwick is number 1, okay, followed by Amora. Amora, it's the only ice that destroys other ice types, okay? That's like why Amora is good. That's the first reason. It's the ice that beats other ice. And the second reason is basically it's very spammy. It has Wither Ball, Powder Snow, so I think every 5 then 4 you get to throw a charge move. Followed by Alolan Ninetale Shadow. Why Alolan Ninetale here? Well, it's another ice that beats other ice. Why? Because it has a charm which does neutral damage to the opposing ice, while usually ice Pokemons have ice fast move, which is resisted by A9. Followed by Vigoroth. Why Vigoroth is good? Well, Vigoroth is good because it's annoyingly spammy, and it has counter, Body Slam, and Rock Slide. Followed by Vulpix, Alolan. Why Vulpix is good? Well, it's technically, if you want to use an ice Pokemon, it's better than A9. Why it's better than A9? Well, it's bulkier than A9 because usually second, third evolution, they get better the higher CP. The lower the CP, first evolution are always the best. Followed by Ducklet, and Ducklet is an amazing Little Cup Pokemon. Litleo, Wigglytuff, Shadow Alolan, Vulpix, Marowak, Eevee. I think this is the first time I've seen Eevee within the top ranking. Why? I think it's basically one reason because it has Dig, and Dig got buffed. Quick Attack got a buff like 2 seasons ago, and it has Body Slam. So technically it has 3 amazing charge moves. Litwick again is back to the list with a non-shadow. So it's basically the shadow is way more superior than the non-shadow. Now moving into the main Pokemons. The main Pokemons, I've divided them into Grass, Ice, Ghost, and I put the Ghost with the Fire in the same spot because, to be honest, the Fires who are good because they are Ghost, not because they are Fire. Why? Because they are Ghost? Because technically Vigoroth is the most dominant, impressive Pokemon in this cup, and Ghost just double resist counter. So you have the chance to resist, double resist counter, and do neutral damage, which is amazing. That's 1. 2, Fire is good also because you resist the Charm, and Charmers are annoyingly powerful in this cup because things do not have any bulk. And any Charmer in this cup can just 2 shields and charm down everything. So the normal squad, I have Vigoroth, Litleo. Why Litleo here? Well, technically Litleo has Fire Fang, Fire Spin. I'm not sure about Fire Spin, but it has Fire Fang, it has Ember, and it has Incinerate. Incinerate get a buff. It basically has 2 amazing fire charge moves. What does it have as fast move? It has Crunch and Flame Charge. Flame Charge help it to ramp up on the fast move damage because it has a guaranteed chance to boost your attack, while Crunch has a decent chance to debuff the opponent's defense and decrease it by 1 stage. Anything here is worth mentioning. Pika Libre is probably one of the best in this cup. Why? Because it's electric fighting. Flying Press is one of the best charge moves in the entire game, and I think there is only 2 Pokemon in the game that learns it, which is Pika Libre and Hawlucha. I think that's it. And Flying Press can one-shot Vigoroth or any normal type Pokemon here. It has Thunder Shock, so technically it's the spammiest Pokemon in this cup, but Alolan Raichu can do nothing to beat the Ducklet. Sorry, not the Ducklet, the Cottony. So technically if you want to run Recalibrate, you need 2 answers to Charm, otherwise Cottony will just demolish you, like literally demolish. What does Pika Libre have as a charge move? I think it has Thunder Punch, Flying Press. So technically you just run those with with a Spark, or sorry, Thunder Shock. Is there anything here we didn't talk about? I think that's pretty much it. Skarmory is threatening in this cup, but not as dominant. Because the fires are actually good, and fire do super effective to steal and take resisted. So there is 2 stages of differences. Pachirisu is worth mentioning. If you have a Pachirisu for this cup with 500 CP, it's actually good because of the oppressive fast move pressure with Volta Switch, and it has some decent bulk. Some Pokemon that worth mentioning: Mandibuzz, Vulpix, Talonflame. I think I already talked about Talonflame, so let's just delete it. Usually people always end up using Altaria in this cup as a Vigoroth answer because you take counter resisted damage and you do neutral Dragon Breath damage. So technically you can just 2 shield through Vigoroth and just leave the matchup with decent amount of health. I don't recommend building a Walrein or Venusaur. If you want to build stuff for Little Cup and use them in almost every Little Cup format, those Pokemon are the only ones that is worth mentioning and are eligible in this cup. Remember, stuff like Stunky, I think Stunky, Drifloon, and Bronzor, they can be used in some Little Cup formats, but if you want to use some Pokemon in every Little Cup format, you have Ducklet, which is the best. Cottony is the second best. I think Vigoroth is decent because you can use Vigoroth in 3 cups. Pika Libre, you can use it in 2 Little Cups formats. Lowland Vulpix, we talked about it, and Amora, same, you can use it in 2 different cups. But those 2, you can use those 2 in every Little Cup format, and they are OP in literally every one of them. So if you have a Ducklet and Cottony, they are worth the investment because you're going to be able to use them in every Little Cup format. Okay, comes after them Pika Libre. Well, Pika Libre, if the only way to have it is to catch it below 500 CP, or catch it during a go battle day where like your IV will be random, so you can get like a 0-0-0 something. Like you can, because a level 20 Pika Libre is, I think, ranged from 490 up to 530 CP. So depending how lucky you are with the CP, whether you can use it or not, as long as you hit legend, or you just trade it for like lower friendship. But I don't trade my Pika Libres because, you know, like they are the middle of proving that we hit legend. Beside the pose. So how do you build a team in the Little Cup format? Basically, I mean, this is an example. So the best Pokemon in this cup technically so far is Shadow Litwick. Why? Because it beats the opposing fire and it beats all the ice plus the normal, because like beating Vigoroth, Cottony, and Vulpix is huge because it's technically the only one that beats all of these 3, and those 3 are like the biggest 3 in this cup beside Litwick, okay? But it loses to Ducklet, Marowak, Amora, and Ducklet is insanely good in every Little Cup. Like Ducklet is not as good in this cup, but it's the Pokemon that everyone has, so I'm expecting everyone to use it because everyone have a Ducklet. Everyone who play Little Cup basically has a Ducklet build. So now let's just go and talk about the team. So the top team according to PvPoke, if you want to build a team, and if you look at the ranking, Litwick is number 1. So here we have Litwick, right? And if you want to use Litwick, the best Pokemon you could pair with it is actually Amora. And if you want to use those 2, you need something neutral to everything, so that where Pachirisu comes in handy. Pachirisu comes as a neutral Pokemon that does some decent fast move pressure and decent charge move pressure. But if you guys watch the content, you know that we always do something called top 3 PvPoke. What's good about top 3 PvPoke? They are the most reliable 3 Pokemons in the cup. So why not putting them together all in one team and call it a top 3 PvPoke? Easy, just as simple as that. But if you want to use this team, I do not recommend leading Litwick. I recommend leading this over the other 2, because technically this has the chance to encounter the Ducklet in the lead, and you technically, since you're subtyping rock, you resist all the Ducklet moveset. But if you queue into the opposing Litwick is actually the biggest core breaker to this team, because Ducklet beat this, Ducklet beat this. But I mean, Litwick does not have bulk, and I'm assuming that, wait, Amora takes a neutral, but does resisted damage to Litwick. I'm assuming that you're just gonna go straight Wither Ball because Litwick does not have bulk, especially if they have the Shadow. There is no bulk on the Litwick. What I will be using Ducklet, Vigoroth, Amora. Why? I have a Ducklet build, I have a Vigoroth build, and I have this thing built. So I don't need to build anything. That's like literally the best way to play Little Cup. Something to mention here, if people are using Vigoroth, you just run 3 Pokemons that just beat Vigoroth, okay? If you see that, okay? All in against Vigoroth. All in against Vigoroth, okay? Basically, the concept of this team, which is 3 hard counters to Vigoroth, and also a hard counter to Litwick, because Altaria destroys Litwick. Dragon Breath damage just does an insane amount of fast move pressure. And again, as always, if you have no skill, you can literally hit Legend. Just tap your screen all the way until you win the game. We have Litwick Double Charm. It's a brand new team, and we just released it. People don't know about it. Only the people who subscribe to the channel, just like you. If you subscribe, and if you haven't, this is your chance. Make sure to subscribe. Free content. You don't pay anything. Just make sure to support the channel. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. If you didn't, hopefully you will subscribe one day. So yeah, this team, literally, you don't need skills. You just tap your way. If you see it's a water in the lead, you just swap to Wiggly, because Wiggly is the best safe swap in this cup. This is not a hard counter. I don't know why it's there. Technically, you have to have Cottony, because Cottony is the bulkiest charmer in this cup, okay? So you choose Cottony with either of those. I think I would use... if people are using Ice Pokemons, I would use A9. If people aren't using Ice Pokemons, I would use Wigglytuff. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much everyone for watching. This is the end of the video. If you like it, make sure to leave a like, make sure to channel, make sure to subscribe, and see you in the next video. Peace.